I have got 12 fragrances that I cannot wait until spring to start regularly wearing. Pretty much any of these I'll wear anytime. I kind of wear any fragrance whenever, but without question, there are times that are more appropriate for certain fragrance profiles. Each one of these is awesome for spring weather. So we're going to get into this list, but before we do, remember to subscribe to the channel if you haven't done that. I've got videos coming out every couple days, and I hope you'll join us. Also, remember to give a very springy click to the like button, and let me know down in the comments, what are some fragrances that you're just kind of eyeballing the weather, thinking, man, this is going to do awesome once spring is fully here. Okay, here we go. This first one, this is a flanker of maybe my favorite fragrance of all time, which is Philipp Plein No Limits. I know that sounds bizarre, but it's one of the few fragrances I have ever bought a backup bottle to. There's maybe been 5 in my life. I just don't really do that. I've got plenty of fragrances. I don't need backup bottles. But there is a fresher flanker to Philipp Plein No Limits. It's this one right here. Philipp Plein No Limits Super Fresh. And it's basically the same DNA, but with some extra fruitiness in the opening. There's a little citrus, there's a little bit of fig in there, so kind of a fruity opening. There is a white chocolate instead of a dark chocolate, so not quite as dark of a fragrance profile. But you've still got significant spiciness. You've still got the same awesome leather note, my favorite part about the fragrance. Even though this one would not work well in 95-degree weather, you know, in spring, whenever it's 80, or even in the fall, it would be awesome. So I can't wait for this one. Super fresh, no limits. All right, next up, this is one that I got in the fall, but I didn't get to wear it enough before it got really cold, and I thought I'm going to save this one for spring, and, you know, I'll even wear it in the summer. This is a flanker to an amazing fragrance that's gotten a lot of love, which is Le Beau by Jean Paul Gaultier. But this is the Parfum. And so this is a thicker, richer version of that DNA. You've got some woodsiness that causes it to stand out from the others, like kind of a musky, woodsy base. You've also got a richer, sweeter pineapple. You've still got coconut. You've got tonka bean. It's just a more dense and robust version of Le Beau. And this one, I've already been wearing it some these last few days or last week. It's going to be perfect for the spring. Okay, this next one has long been a spring favorite. I think it's one of the best spring fragrances you can buy. You can wear it literally all year round, but it's got unique sweetness and some spice. It is absolutely gorgeous. I'm talking about Dunhill Icon, the original. This one has a neroli in the opening mixed with some sort of fragrance magic that gives it like a fizzy grape soda kind of opening, but then you've got some woodsiness and some leather as you go towards the dry down, so there's sort of a dry, dark base coming through that wonderful sweet opening. You've also got some pepper, maybe even some ginger. You've got some spiciness in there as well. Super unique, and it's very inexpensive for what you get. You can get this around $35. If I paid $100 for this, I would be totally happy. It's a great pickup, Dunhill Icon. Okay, next, this one is another one that's quite unique because of the way it uses the note of rhubarb. This is pretty much a blue fragrance with some interesting differences. So I'm talking about Lacoste L'Homme Intense. So it's got some freshness, it's got some woodsiness, but it's got an orange rhubarb in the opening that makes this, the rhubarb isn't overpowering, it's a complement to that orange, but you've got that sweet orange rhubarb opening, and then in the base, you've got kind of a hefty blue fragrance kind of DNA. This is an excellent pickup, very inexpensive. The original is good as well. It's just a fresher take on this DNA. Definitely recommend this one, but if you hate rhubarb, stay away from it because you can pick that up. Okay, another one that I would say is quintessential spring fragrance. This is like, it's gotten a lot of hype, a lot of love. really inexpensive right now, probably in that $35 range. This is John Varvatos Artisan Pure. This one gets a lot of love every spring because it smells like spring. It's basically citrus and some white florals, but there is a green note and there is a woodiness in here. So you've got some sweet citrus, but you've also got this very distinct kind of a green aromatic vibe. Very cool fragrance. To me, it really only works in spring. I mean, maybe a little bit in the summer as well, but definitely one to add to your spring lineup. There's another one. This is the only clone in the video, but I'm including it because to my nose, it's kind of like a sweeter version of the one that I just showed you. There's a lot of similarities in this one to that one right here, but it's just got more sweetness and a little bit of maybe an aquatic freshness. This is a clone of Tom Ford's Mandarino di Amalfi. This is Just Jack Amalfi Coast. And this one's available again. I've literally been looking for this one for at least a year and it's been out of stock, but there's a restock on Just Jack fragrances at fragrancebuy.ca. They got a bunch of them in right now. So this is a fantastic pickup. The only clone in the video. It's not exactly like Artisan Pure, but it's got some real similarities with some extra sweetness. I can't wait to wear this one, even though it's definitely works for summer as well. All right, next up. This one is my favorite in the Aeros line. This is Aeros Parfum, another fragrance you could totally wear in the winter, wear in the fall, wear in the summer, unless it's, you know, too hot and then it would be cloying. But it's basically a sweeter, or it's a more fruity version of Aeros. All of them have a lot of sweetness, but this one has extra fruitiness in the opening. And instead of having that sort of vanilla, green apple, mint opening, it's got a little bit of a different opening with some different fruits in there. And I love the Aeros fragrances. I have all of them. And this one right here, I am so looking forward to. Vanilla, fruits, and aromatics, a good dose of sweetness. It's going to light up the spring. Can't wait. All right, next we'll go with one. This may be the only niche fragrance in the video. I think it is. But it's from Manera, and their fragrances are very affordable. This is a 60 ml, which you can usually get for $60 or $70, which is a great price. This is Oud Lemon Mint, and it probably should be called like Oud Lemon Almond or something, because there's a distinct almond note giving it some powderiness. There is a powerful sweet lemon. There's just a touch of mint, and the oud doesn't smell like oud. It's sort of a kind of a sweet oud, and it's pretty subtle. And all it does is it brings that, you know, shouting lemon down a little bit. It kind of blends together the almond, the lemon, and the mint. You can pick it up in there, but with that kind of powdery almond and oud, it's pretty muted. So it's just an interesting fragrance. It basically smells like a sweet lemon fragrance with some powderiness. It's actually fairly unique, even though that might not sound too unique. And it's an all year round fragrance as well. Although if it's super hot in the summer, I would go with something else. It's got a lot of sweetness. All right, next, this one is another. I mean, some of these right here are some of, in my opinion, the best fragrances you can buy for summer, period. And this is one of those. This one blew my mind when I first smelled it. It's one of the Salvatore Ferragamo Uomo fragrances, but it's a flanker that I think is perfect for the spring. This is Uomo Casual Life. So it's still got that kind of tiramisu vibe that you get from the other ones, but there's a lot of freshness. There's a violet leaf and a lemon in the opening. So you're going to get that kind of ozonic violet leaf and lemon. And then you've got that touch of a gourmand feel in the heart of the fragrance. Super cool that they were able to take such a syrupy, sweet fragrance profile and freshen it up a lot without losing that gourmand edge. Very awesome, unique, inexpensive fragrance, usually less than $40 for the big bottle. Awesome pickup. Okay, next, this one is the original of one of my favorite fragrances, which is a flanker. So I'm talking about Valentino Wo Intense is one of my favorite fragrances ever. But it's got a good bit of sweetness, you know, it's got a good bit of vanilla, I think even some chocolate. So it's a heavy fragrance. This one is got a ton of similarities to Valentino Wo Intense. This is the original Valentino Wo, but it's drier, it's less sweet, it's got more woods. So to me, this would be my go-to Valentino Wo in the spring, actually. And so that's why this one's in this video. I love the Wo DNA. This one pulls back the sweetness significantly and dries it up a bit with some extra woods. It is a gorgeous fragrance. It's still got the coffee, still got the chocolate. It's debatable whether it has iris. Iris is not listed in the notes, but it kind of smells like there's a little iris in there. Great pickup, Valentino Wo original. Unfortunately, I think it's being discontinued, although there is a clone that I can't reach right now. Actually, it's right here. Valencia Wo Intense is sort of a blend of Valentino Wo and Valentino Wo Intense. You can get it on Amazon for less than $30. It's a good alternative if you can no longer get Valentino Wo or if you just don't want to drop the money. All right, next up, this one is sort of like perfect for spring and fall. It's a great fragrance. It's a fragrance DNA that I like. I've got a bunch of different flankers and clones of Dior Fahrenheit, but this one is Fahrenheit Le Parfum. And so this one is basically the original Fahrenheit, which is an aromatic kind of gasoline smelling fragrance. It's got violet leaf and some other notes that give it this really almost like a gasoline kind of vibe. This one's still got the aromatics. It's still got a good bit of spice, but the petrol vibe is rolled back by about half, and then they add in some rum and vanilla. I think it's rum, it might be whiskey, but some booze and vanilla. This is not an overly sweet fragrance. That's why I think it's so good for spring and also for fall. I think it's kind of a perfect fall fragrance as well. But it's got some of that gourmand edge with that vanilla as well as that booziness added to a DNA that I already love. This one right here, I've kind of worn it in 3 seasons so far since I've had it, and it works in all of them, but I think spring is going to really make it shine. All right, and finally, this one is a cheapie. I'm talking like $20 if you find it at the rack store, and it, to me, was made for a sunshiny, no, I'll say this, a rainy, warm spring day. That's kind of what it's perfect for. And I'll explain. So this is Mont Blanc Starwalker. To my nose, and many others have said the same, it's got a lot of similarities to Versace Mano Fraiche, but it's got this bamboo note, this watery bamboo note, and that's where, to me, it goes so well with the rain. I've worn it on rainy days and thought, man, this is made for rainy days. So if you like Mano Fraiche, but you want to experiment a little bit with a watery bamboo note, pick this one up. It's gotten a lot of love for good reason. A super cheapie and a great spring fragrance. So that's been 12, but I would love to hear what are your top picks for fragrances you're just kind of itching to match to a beautiful spring day. Also, remember to subscribe to the channel and give the like button a very springy click if you like the video. I'm Justin. This is Sillage Scents.